Welcome, Vault Dwellers. My name is Nacho Bidness, and today we're going to talk about camping locations. Of course, camping location is one of the more important decisions that you can make in the game, at least in my opinion, because moving camps cost money, and it's always free to fast travel back to your camp, which means that you'd like to have something that is centrally located that you can fast travel back to in an area where there's a lot of quests that you can do. I think another thing that is important is to pick an area that has a lot of resources around. For example, this valley that I'm in right now has tons of logs around for gathering wood. There's additional plants around that I can gather and make tea, which is more effective than just regular boiled water or purified water at quenching thirst, and also gives some additional bonuses. But there's one more thing that I think we can do to try and gain incremental advantage in the game, and that is, I think it's a great idea to camp underneath these power pylons, these giant power poles that dot the landscape. Here's why. There are almost always several feet of flat ground underneath each one of these things, and flat ground is almost always at a premium. It's hard to find flat ground in a lot of places in game. The other reason is that maybe 1 in 10 of them has some kind of additional resource that you can mine right next to it. For example, I've got this concrete extractor here that is just pumping away and mining concrete for me while I'm off adventuring. Usually when I come back, there's between 30 and 40 concrete there that I can then turn into bulk junk and sell for just a few extra caps every time I go and visit a vendor. And that's kind of why I think that these pylons are such a great place to camp. I started out underneath these things just as hey, it's not your business, and I'm going to keep on with my theme of electricity on my channel. But it has turned out that there are a lot of advantages that can be gained by staying underneath these pylons. So I'm going to show you where a few of them are. In fact, let's take a look at where this one is. It is just south of the hills in kind of the southern end of the forest. It's just a little bit northwest of the giant teapot and a little bit northeast of Camp Adams, and just over the hill from Poseidon Energy Plant. And in fact, if you just follow the pylons north from that plant, you will find this particular location. But let's take a look at some of the other pylons that are dotted around the landscape that are great places to camp. So here's another great spot to set up a camp underneath one of these great big power pylons. That town down there is the town of Point Pleasant. It's home of the Mothman Museum. Here it is on the map. It's all the way to one side, and I am kind of just to the southeast of it. And if we come up the hill here, we find a power pylon, and you want to talk about a great place with some flat ground. I don't think that the ground gets any flatter than this in Fallout 76. I mean, this is as plain Jane as you could want, and even better, it has a junk deposit. If you set up camp here, you'll be able to set up a junk collector and basically just harvest junk while you're out adventuring. So this is another great spot for a camp. Here's another interesting one. I don't know what it is exactly. This has got to be some kind of reference or Easter egg that I'm just not picking up on. It's if you're someone who likes to build around existing stuff, this one might be kind of interesting. It's a couple of teddy bears watching TV behind a locked door but there's no walls. I don't know. I don't get it, but this I thought was still kind of an interesting location. It is just a little bit to the northeast of Camp McClintock and almost due south of Sutton Station. So fairly centrally located to early quests that you have to do. And I don't know what else to say about this one except that it it strikes me as weird, and that in and of itself, I'm sure is going to make it appealing for a lot of people. So just down the line from the last one that we talked about, so that last one with the teddy bears is that one that I'm looking at right now. Here is another one with a deposit that can be farmed. It's got a fair amount of fairly flat land, although not quite as well set up as some of the others we've looked at. And this one has an iron deposit in it, so if you are looking to up your steel supplies, either to improve something, build something, or just to sell, this would be a good one to hang out at. It is just almost straight to the northwest of Camp McClintock and southwest of Sutton Station. The last one that we're going to talk about today is just up the highway from Bolton Greens. So if you just follow the road from Bolton Greens up towards the Monongah Power Plant, which was the last place that I died, I ran into a Yaogwai that I was not prepared for. You will pass this power pylon on your right, and this strikes me as a good one because one, it's close to a power plant. If you want to farm those events, it's handy being close. But also, this has what I believe is an acid deposit. If I walk over this thing, it gives me physical damage, but it does not actually give me any rads or anything. So I think that's acid. Whatever it is, for it to be that color and stand out that much and hurt you, it's probably valuable. So this might be a good place to set up a camp. It's not quite as level. There's a little bit more vegetation than I'd like, but all things considered, probably a good place to camp out as you start to head into the Savage Divide. So I hope that you found all the information today useful. If you did, be sure to hit the like button down below. If you want to see more, subscribe. I've got more 76 content coming. And if you didn't like, please tell me why in the comments so that I can try and do better for you next time. Until next time, my name is Nacho Bidness, and I'm saying it's a great big wasteland out there. Let's go have fun in it.